So here we are at the Early Music Studio today, and in Susan's keyboard studio, and we're going to be doing a concert at the Kelowna Forum on November the 19th, 2017 at 2:30 p.m. And we're going to be playing all French music for theorbo, lute, harpsichord, mandora, and baroque guitar. There's a lot of stuff in there. You'll love it. So now we'd like to do a little tour of the harpsichord, a kind of demonstration of what the harpsichord is and how it works as a musical instrument especially. So what can you tell us about it, Susan?
Well, this is a beautiful French harpsichord. This was made by the Hubbard Company in Boston, and it's copied after an instrument by Tasquin, built in 1769.
In Paris.
In Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, many of those instruments were highly ornamented, and that kind of goes with the whole philosophy of decor and art at that time. This instrument obviously has two keyboards. It has 3 sets of strings, and it has 4 sets of plucking mechanisms. So the normal regular sound that this instrument makes is like this. And if I play on the upper manual, so that is a separate set of strings, and it's plucked at a different point in the string length, so it's kind of like a guitarist moving their hand up or down. It gives a little bit different color.
A bit more nasal.
I can combine these two. So for, say, a louder piece, something a little more outgoing, you want both those sets of strings, and we can also add a set of strings an octave higher. So that gives really quite a bright effect.
Right. I have the impression that the harpsichord is really quite an extroverted instrument in many ways.
That's true. Well, sometimes we want to have an introverted effect, and for this we can use a very special set of plucking mechanisms made of leather. This is called the peau de boeuf, and it has a really soft-edged sound. So it's like a lute player plucking the string with skin instead of a guitarist plucking with fingernails.
I love that metaphor. And just one thing I wanted to add, I actually did the voicing on this instrument. I can tell you that the voicing leather is really difficult to do.
And you did a great job. Thank you.
You have a
for
very
that.
sharp knife. So now let's talk a little bit about the music. We're going to play some music by François Couperin. And he was a part of a big family of Couperin. And the uncle, for example, was one of the first really important harpsichord composers in France who published music. And then François came along. He served the Bourbon monarchy just around 1710 to 30 or something like that.
Yes.
And the pieces you're going to play are from around 1722.
That's right.
And one of the important things about this is that it would, at the time, would have been very unusual to publish music.
Yes, it was an honor to be able to publish. It was expensive, I guess, and it was just a lot of work for him, but a great honor also. These pieces are very personal. A lot of them have people's names on them, or they're pictures of life at court. And the music really suggests
the character.
The character
right.
of the title.
They're even called character pieces.
Yes.
We refer to them in English.
Yes, they are.
So what have you got here?
So this is the first piece in the 18th suite, and it's named after someone named Verneuil. It's an Allemand, so a slow dance in 4. And of course, this style is very heavily ornamented to the point that it would be pretty impossible to play the pieces without any of the ornaments in. They're really an integral part of this music. So let's make sure we're on the right register here. It sounds like this.
Now I noticed that quite often you're overlapping some notes and other notes are shorter. That's one thing I noticed. And I also noticed that there's a tremendous wealth of interest in the melodic construction.
That's very true. Sometimes those overlaps are notated in the score, and sometimes we use it sort of as a discretionary measure to create the illusion of a soft note, because if the first note is still ringing, the attack doesn't seem quite so bright when the second note comes in. And of course, the harpsichord is not a touch-sensitive instrument. If I play with more weight, I do not get a louder
Right,
pitch.
like a piano.
So we have other tools that we use to create phrasing and so
So
on.
what's your next demonstration then?
Well, I thought it would be nice to hear the Pot de Buffle in a rather happy suite. This is a pretty dark piece called La Tendrissante, the touching one, and the direction from the composer says to play it painfully. So. It goes on like that.
It's very low pitched.
Yes, rather like viola da gamba
Yes,
music.
I was going to say it suggests the viola da gamba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a beloved instrument at the time.
Big and dark and brown. Yeah. So the last piece here is
The last
called,
piece I want to talk about is the Tic-Toc-Choc ou les maillotins, which
and that means,
the tapping,
Right.
the little hammers.
yeah,
And you know, at the time, people were fascinated with little mechanical clockwork devices. So we could imagine
toys and so on.
toys and something playing with little hammers, kind of a little music box effect, probably very tiny and very highly decorated. This piece is written for 2 manuals. If I try to play on one manual, I can't do it because both hands are using the same notes. So this is a typical 2 manual piece. And I have to say, when I first started playing on 2 manuals, I felt very strange.
That kind of music just makes you smile, doesn't it?
It does.
It's something, it's witty and interesting.
It sparkles. It's a
full of
wonderful
character.
example of the beautiful sound of the harpsichord.
Play some more.